Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. It is Wednesday, November the 3rd, 2021. This is Wake Up with Ray G, presented by Bets TV. Happy to be here. Good morning, everybody in the comments. We see Zach, Stone, Dale already in the chat. Rico in this bitch. We appreciate you being here on this Wednesday. Did I just say that, Jay? Did I just already start?
Say, you already started with the cursing out of nowhere. You always do nice, clean intros, get us started on a
I
good note,
know.
and you're just like, yeah, Rico's in this bitch. He's
Yeah, my
still
bad,
mad
my
at what
bad.
Michigan whistle
To all
was.
the kiddos out there, I don't say those type of
We love
things.
you.
But good morning to you all. Jay, there was a lot of stuff that happened yesterday. Lindsey Mack in the building. Brandon's already. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just excited to be here. Happy to see another day. We've got a lot of sports stuff to talk about on the show. And one of the things that I pride myself on this show is there is no topic that we won't cover. There's no item that we won't discuss. You know, we're not on ESPN or Fox or anything like that. So we got a lot of leeway over here at Bets TV. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, podcast, all that good stuff. But yesterday, amongst all the joyous news, and I hate to start the show off with a very devastating and somber topic, but it is it's an unfortunate reminder to us all. And, I'm talking about former Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs, which honestly, I didn't even know he was former until probably 15 minutes ago. I didn't even know that the Las Vegas Raiders released Henry Ruggs. But yesterday, we saw the video images of a horrific car accident involving said young wide receiver, 22-year-old Henry Ruggs. I don't know the names of the victims yet who were involved in that accident, but we do know that there was one fatality in that accident in Las Vegas, Nevada yesterday. Thoughts, prayers to the family of that individual. Don't know if it's male or female. Doesn't even matter, man. It's one of those things. It's reported he stayed on the scene and he was impaired. Was charged with DUI resulting in death. It's one of those things, man. You know, Jay, I unfortunately have been in a situation as a young man, right? Where you go out, you're having fun with your boys, you're having fun with your friends, and you yourself may have or have heard one of your friends say, "Oh, I'm not that drunk. Oh, I'm good. First of all, that's terrible right there, right? I'm not that drunk. There's no excuse for getting behind the wheel being impaired, man. You know, there's no justification for it. You need people in your life that can tell you, hell no, bro. Like, give me your keys. You're not driving. With so many different methods and mediums for us to travel these days, Uber, Lyft, like there are so many ways to get from point A to point B where you don't have to put yourself in a situation to get behind the wheel and damage yourself, hurt yourself, or hurt other people. And that's exactly what happened with Henry Ruggs. And we don't know all the details. We know it was 3:40 in the morning. I grew up in Las Vegas, so I can only assume young, millions of dollars. Maybe you were out having fun, partying. But it's a unfortunate reminder to us all that there's no excuse. I just don't get it, man. Like, even for me, when I'm driving, bro, like I try so hard not even to look at my phone. I've got this little stand thing. I put my GPS in. Everywhere I go, I always put my GPS on for alternate routes, right? Traffic is horrible in Dallas. So I always have that on. And if I'm going to text, it's normally 99% of the time it's like voice. Like I'm pressing the button and I'm, using the audio message that Apple provides. But this situation for Ruggs is just unfortunate. And everyone has heard the story about his best friend was killed in an automobile accident, 5 years ago. And every touchdown, he dedicates that to his friend. And it's just a tragic situation, man. And I'm not even talking about from just a football perspective, but I just mean life, bro. Like, we can't do that. Like, you can't say that, people. Like, I'm not that drunk. That means you don't need to get behind the wheel. And a lot of people don't want to admit that they've said that, but a lot of people have said those very words, gotten behind the wheel, and hopefully made it to their destination safely. But we just can't do that, man. It's really sad. It's really sad because to see a young man who worked so hard to get to this point in his life I don't want to say threw it all away, but I don't know if we ever see Henry Ruggs play football again. This is a serious offense in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, felony status. If it's shown his blood alcohol level is past the legal limit. I mean, I don't want to get into all the legalese, but this is not good for Henry Ruggs. And who knows what's to come after this? Will he serve jail time? I don't know. All I know today is just thinking about that situation. And you hear the words that I said carefully. Not a good reminder, because this is not a good reminder. It's an unfortunate reminder to every last one of us, man. If you've had a couple of drinks, bro, call Uber. You can go back and get your car tomorrow. Call Uber, call a friend. Make sure you surround yourself with people who have your best interest at heart. Like we've been out and we've seen our boys or some of our homegirls, and you look at them, you're like, ain't no way he could drive. There's no way in hell she can drive. Let me take you home. You just can't have that at 22 years old, man. It's just unfortunate. And my ask to everybody out there, like, don't text and drive. Like, I really am not. I'm a big time. Just don't do it. Like, it's a split second, man. And your life can change. Somebody else's life can change. And I talked about it at the opening, Jay. I had no idea they released them because I didn't hear the Raiders. I didn't see any statement from the Vegas Raiders all day. And maybe I was lost in following NFL trade rumors. Maybe I was lost in looking at World Series previews, but I didn't see anything come out from the Raiders. And then you get on literally 16 minutes ago and tell me, oh, he was released. And I was shocked. I had no clue, man. So how did that go down? And do you have any thoughts, opinions on the situation involving Henry Ruggs yesterday?
Yeah, so I'll just be open, honest with the audience and with you. I have actually drove home drunk before, and it was probably the biggest mistake I've ever made. And so I'm not one to judge Henry Ruggs for his decision making, but I will openly tell everyone this story because it was a situation where I put myself in a bad situation. I was by myself, like I could have called Uber, could have called my parents. I wasn't that far from home. Thankfully, I made it home okay. But I tell people to remind them the dangers of it. If you've ever been in that situation, it's easy to choose to drive. I've done it. So again, I'm not one to say, oh, Henry Ruggs such a bad person. How could he do that? Because I'm open and honest with people and say, I have done this.
Well, a lot of people have. That's the unfortunate reality. A lot of people had, and that is something that I'm sure you don't condone or support, and neither do I. But a lot of people have done that, man. And anytime you say I'm not that drunk, I'm good, you're probably not good. You're probably not good,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way so people know, like, I don't condone obviously what Henry Ruggs did, but I have made my own mistakes. But yeah, like Stone's saying, it was 11:50 Eastern time last night, basically right when the Braves won the World Series, that the Raiders released this statement saying he got released. And so for me, that's kind of what rubs me the wrong way. It's very easy for them to wait till the morning. They really did try to just kind of sneak this past everyone. They snuck it past you, obviously, like you're a Raider fan. So this kind of stuff would pop up on your timeline. Someone may tag you in something like this, and still it went past you because the Braves were busy celebrating their World Series last night over the Astros, and the Raiders front office, PR team, whoever it was, tried to sneak it through the news. And that to me is kind of the most heartbreaking part of all this. It's a tragedy. It had to be done, absolutely, based on Henry Ruggs' potential situation. But for them to kind of just try and sneak it through the news, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's doing a disservice to the Braves because it was their moment, and the Raiders kind of made it. They tried to sneak it past everybody. So honestly, just prayers up to the family of the victim. And, I guess we'll see what happens with Ruggs, but we probably won't see him in the NFL for a little while.
Yeah, man. I don't even want to dive into that. His chances of coming back is like, I don't know. I've got feelings on that. But I think that's another topic for another day. The biggest thing that I just want to say is, please, folks, like, it's just don't drink and drive, man. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't drink and drive. I mean, whatever message was sent to you, it'll be there once you get to where you're going, And if you have to say, and just surround yourself with people who have your best interests at heart, man. If you're around people who love you, who care about you, man, and I say this because a lot of times people tell you what you want to hear. You need people around you that aren't just going to tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to hear. And in a much more insignificant way. Jay, that's how we got started, right? I thought I
Yeah,
was doing dope
absolutely.
videos, and you could have easily said, bro, you're great. Keep doing what you're doing. But you were like, no, that sucks. You're good, but you can be better. And at that moment, that's when I was like, all right, I like this guy because he's telling me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And throughout my time in this fantasy football, this sports community, I've had very few people tell me what I need to hear. They always tell me what I want to hear. And when I was doing some negotiation type things over the summer, I had one CEO of a company, and she pretty much she told me things that I wanted to hear, but she also told me some things that I needed to hear. And I appreciated her for that, and we'll be forever grateful for that type of feedback. But those are the type of people we need to surround ourselves around. Just really unfortunate for that young man, and like you said, most importantly, prayers up to the family of the victim/victims, everybody involved in that situation. Just very, very, very sad. And to your point, the release that got dropped at 11 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, I mean everyone's in bed. I mean I did not see that. So kind of not cool by the Raiders. The Raiders are not having a good football season, as far as things in the news. Just not good, man. But Jay, we have a World Series champion. The Atlanta Braves went in and took care of business versus the Houston Astros. And I did not, Jay. I did not load as I'm talking. I did not load the graphics into the dock. So I'm about to just try to pull it over here. Let's see what happens because we got to play this. We got to drop this one. Wake up!
They played against him in the first game. But honestly, man, like I gotta give them a lot of credit because I did not expect this. Max Fried put the Astros to work last night. Like it wasn't even close. I think in the first inning they had a run on first and second with one out or no outs. He got out of that. Then later on, they just couldn't touch him after that. So Jorge Soler hit that bomb and the game was over. They had the momentum, they had the runs, they kept piling it on. I think it was 6-0 by the fourth inning. Freddie Freeman, captain Atlanta, right? The big captain of the Braves, MVP of last season, played spectacular all year long, held that team together. For people who don't know, Freddie Freeman is really like the OG of this Atlanta Braves roster. He was the first player to really come up, be a big time prospect, and ultimately lead this team. There's a lot of young talent like Dansby Swanson, like Austin Riley, like Ronald Acuna Jr., who isn't playing. But Freddie Freeman's really the guy that kept them all even keel. And while they are a great team and had great roster, they hadn't had success in the postseason to this point. And of all the years for them to do it, when they're missing their ace starting pitcher in Charlie Morton, when they're missing their star outfielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., they had to bring in 4 new outfielders at the trade deadline just so they could basically compete this year. Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, and Adam Duvall all came in, made contributions across the board. They hit, I believe, after Freddie Freeman's home run, it was 10 home runs they hit in the World Series in those 6 games. Spectacular performance for that by the Braves. Can't say enough about them, honestly. Like their
Yeah.
resilience from when they lost Acuna really shows how tough this team was, but they played great. They played out of their minds. I called them to win, so I'm happy. I told you they would win and they did.
You
So I got to give
did.
you a little bit of flack for that.
You
But the
did.
Astros, man, like I'm glad they lost. Like they're cheaters, and I'm cool calling them
Dude,
cheaters.
it sounded like a Braves home game in Houston, dude. There were a lot of Braves fans in Houston last night. I was very shocked to hear
Yeah.
how much support and how well they traveled. And, I don't follow baseball as closely, so I didn't realize they had only won 80 games during the regular season, 88 games. They all kept talking about everything that could go wrong for them went wrong this season. They were just like,
Yeah.
injuries, they were like everything that could go wrong. Like we hit every speed bump. And
Yeah.
I text you, it wasn't the official post game interview, but right after it was over and they interviewed Freddie Freeman, or they were talking to Freddie Freeman, it you could just hear it just was a really cool moment. You could just hear how happy and excited he was. Like you could see it, you could feel the energy, just like, sometimes after teams win a championship and they get up there and they're just like, yeah, man, it was just a hard-fought season and kudos to the other team and we did it. And it's just kind of like, but Freeman was like, yo, can you believe it? Like, it was just a dope moment to listen to him talk about winning. Because, dude, I'm thinking about this, right? What do they play? 162 games in baseball. 162 games in baseball. 17 weeks of football, training camp. Like, you go through all of that to make it to this point. Like all this, I mean, they've been playing since when? Like April?
They've been playing since April, but you got to remember they start preparing for the season late February. Pitchers start mid-February, batters start end of February.
Think about that, from February to November, no break. Like they get a tiny break for All-Star, and then you make it to the World Series. And then I'm thinking from the Houston side, you take an L. Like that's a lot of work that goes into winning the championship, and just how special one of those championships are. And that's why yesterday's conversation about the Rams going all in to win, when your window is there, you just got to go for it. Like I'm not even I'm using the parallel and the correlation to fantasy. Bro, when you've got an opportunity to win you a fantasy title, you just need to take it. Like go all in. Screw the draft pick. I need to win. I want to win this season. Not nearly as difficult and strenuous as in Major League Baseball season. But man, when the window's there, you got to capitalize on that opportunity, man. I saw one of the storylines out of that game. What is it? Ron Washington, who's been in Major League Baseball since 1977, finally got his first World Series. He's the third base coach for the Braves, but he's been in the game since 1977, bro. That was 10 years before I was born. And he finally he got his first one. How cool is that? It's just really cool to see teams win, knowing everything that they had to go through to do that. Just awesome. Now, Jay, my timeline was on fire last night, on fire. Because apparently I struck a nerve with the Cincinnati Bearcats fandom when the college football rankings were dropped. I tweeted out, Jay, I said nobody cares if nobody wants to see Cincinnati in the college football playoff. Like, cut it out. Nobody wants to see Cincinnati, and people were not happy, Jay. They were not happy with your boy. They said that it was a blasphemous take by me. Somebody said it was a pathetic take is what I got. It was one of the worst takes I've ever said, because the college football playoff rankings came out. Number 1 is Georgia, 2 Alabama, 3 Michigan State, 4 Oregon. Our predictions were way off. We had Georgia, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, and Alabama in the top 4. Oklahoma down there at 8. And I had a lot of people debating me about this one. And the most comical one that I saw, an individual. I don't like to talk about people without giving them credit. I don't talk about anybody behind their back. I would never do such a thing. And I'm not even talking about him, but I want to give him his credit for this comment. My man Ian Kenyon at Ian Kenyon NFL pretty much said to me that this college football playoff ranking is not about who the best team is. It should be about best resume, winning games. If it's not just about the best team. That's what he told me. He said this is not about the best team. And I said, actually, it's complete opposite. It's about getting the 4 best teams in. By your logic, OU, Wake Forest, and San Diego State should also be in the college football playoff conversation. And his response to me was, they should absolutely be in the conversation for the college football playoffs. And at that point in time, I had to tell my man Ian to cut it out, stop the BS. No, they should not be in the college football playoff. You saw the rankings. Do you have any problem with Cincinnati being left out of the top 4, or do you sort of feel my way? And so nobody really wants to see that. Like, nobody wants to see that, man. I'm sorry. I have no interest in watching Cincinnati get destroyed by Georgia, Cincinnati getting rocked by Alabama, Cincinnati getting destroyed by Ohio State. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it on the limited New Year's Day games that I have. I don't want to watch Cincinnati. I don't. I'm sorry. If you're a Cincinnati fan, I feel how I feel. I don't want to see it. I have no problem with this because the way these rankings are setting up, Michigan State and Ohio State will play one another. The winner of that will be inside the top 4. Oregon probably going to lose at some point in time. They'll bump out. So if Cincinnati takes care of business, they'll be in. Like, if they take care of business and some things happen, they'll be in. The most interesting part of the rankings for me, was the fact that Alabama was at 2, Jay. Because what they're doing, and I said this the entire time, what they're doing is setting up for Alabama to get beat by Georgia, or if Georgia loses to Alabama, Georgia will still be in the top 4. The question will be if Alabama loses to Georgia, and it can go one or two ways. If they barely lose, if it's like a field goal, if it's a 1-point loss, a 2-point loss, I still think Alabama's in the top 4. If they get blown out, they're out. What were your thoughts on the overall rankings? Or do you have a problem with it? Do you think me saying that Cincinnati, nobody wants to see them, was a pathetic take and one of the worst that I've had? I've had some bad ones, but I don't know if that was the worst, man. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong.
So Cincinnati not being in it, that's a perfect take. I agree with it wholeheartedly. I'm probably more bullish on that take than even you are because I don't want to see Cincinnati. I just don't. I've watched Desmond Ridder play one game, and it's because you told me he's good and he's probably going to get drafted first, second round. So I was like, okay, I'll watch one Cincinnati game. Otherwise, I just have no business.
No. I've never said that. No.
You never said me first, second round pick? You told me, well, like last year, you're like, Desmond Ridder, pretty good,
Going into this, no, I'm not on the Desmond Ridder side.
I will take that take back. You made me aware of his existence. We'll go with that, right? You made me aware Desmond Ridder exists. So I watched the game. I was like, yeah, NFL potential. All right, cool. No more Cincinnati for me. I'm a P5 guy. I'm an SEC guy. I watch some Big Ten football. I might dabble in the Pac-12 if they play before 7, 8 Eastern. But for the most part, I'm East Coast, man. I can't be staying up till all these times. Now, to be fair, Cincinnati, they play during the day, but they ain't P5, and I'm not trying to watch them play. But to speak more about the rankings, Alabama at 2. I don't hate it. The main reason why, I don't know who the number 2 team in the country is. It could be anybody. It could be Michigan State. It could be Oregon. It could be Ohio State. It's probably not Cincinnati. It could be Oklahoma, right? So Alabama at 2, whatever, put them at 2 because they're probably the most ready opponent to play Georgia. Georgia, obviously the clear 1. Then depending on how you want to look at it, maybe you think Ohio State's a better fit. Oklahoma's a better fit. But I honestly think that Cincinnati has no shot of making it at 6.
They got a shot. They got a shot. They got a shot.
So there's 2 teams. Or sorry, no. If Oregon's already ahead of them, if they run the table, they could be in. If Oklahoma runs the table, which they should, they will probably be in over Cincinnati as well. So are you really going to take an undefeated Oklahoma team or an Oregon team with one loss, but still winning the Pac-12 over Cincinnati? You definitely are. Like there's no way around that. Michigan, they're probably not going to make it, but who cares about Michigan right now? It's all about Michigan State because they're still undefeated. Alabama 1 loss, Georgia undefeated, Oregon 1 loss.
Michigan State's going to lose. Michigan State's going to lose.
Well, yeah. We expect them to lose to Ohio State. And
the second best team in the country is Ohio State. Ohio State's the second best team in the country, and it's setting up for Ohio State to have probably the 2 seed, and then they'll play the who will they play? The 3 seed. And then they'll end up matching up with Georgia in the Natty. Ohio State's the second best team in the country, man, in my opinion. I think they're the second best team, and it's setting up perfectly for Ohio State. If Ohio State handles business versus Michigan State, they are in. They are locked into the college football playoff, either at the 3 spot or the 2 spot. It's one or the other. This is how it's going to go. And I don't know if Oregon's going to run the table. So if Ohio State wins, Oregon loses, Cincinnati is kind of pedestrian. I'm telling you, it's setting up for Alabama to still get in the top 4 despite losing to Georgia in the SEC title game.
Question for you, though. because realistically, Alabama is not going to be 4. And I guess unless
If
Georgia,
they lose in the SEC title game, they'll be 4. I'm telling you.
but they won't be because they won't put them against Georgia again, right? There's just no way that's going to happen. So they're going to have to be 3 because they're not going to have the SEC title game. Alabama play Georgia, and then college football playoff semis, Alabama versus Georgia again. I just don't see that happening. That would just be kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. So then at that point, Alabama's either 5 or they're 3.
Okay.
And I'm with you. I think the Alabama's probably going to stay in, even with 2 losses. They'll be like, oh, they lost to the number 1 team in the country, best defense. We'll only drop them 1 spot. Then they'll have Ohio State, Alabama probably at the 1, 2, 3 game. And then 1-4, who cares? They're going to lose to Georgia, and we'll get Georgia versus Ohio State or Alabama in the final. So we'll see. I've gone back and forth with this, and I told you last night, and Bruning saying this, like, if Alabama loses, they won't be in. But I just don't believe that. Like, I just don't. I think that if the committee puts a 2-loss Alabama in, it will be telling as to how they really feel about the rankings. It's about ratings. It's not
look
about
at where they're
who
ranked,
people
man.
think are going to get into the country.
Look at where they're ranked. If Alabama is 2, if they play Georgia tight and it ends up going down to the wire and they lose by a point or 2 or a field goal, I will bet money they make it in the playoff. I will bet money they make it in the playoff, especially if Alabama's path to the playoff, if they take an L, is much more difficult. They need Oregon to lose. They need Michigan to beat Ohio State, which I think they'll do. And let's just say, for instance, Cincinnati falls. Oklahoma's down at 8, man. They're down at 8 right now. Alabama will get in. They will get in. Money, dog. Like, y'all, like, it's not
but OU's a big draw too. That's what, like,
they are.
Like you said, it's money. So are you really going to put in Cincinnati over OU? Absolutely not. There's no way. I don't care if OU's ranked. OU could be ranked 10th right now, and if they run the table, they're still getting in over Cincinnati. So
Oregon is a 100% a placeholder.
Yeah,
Oregon is a placeholder.
They are.
Oregon is a placeholder. They will not be in the college football playoff. Nobody wants to see that. We'll see though. It's the first iteration of these, and it just brings me back to the BCS days, man. If you, I don't know if you were tapped into college like that during the computer days, but in 2003, USC was crowned the national champion, and they didn't even play in the national championship game. They did not play in the national championship game because the computer said it was the wildest stuff ever. Go look it up. Go look up who won the national championship in 2003, who played in the national championship game. It was insane. That was pure chaos. The BCS, you talk about that was pure chaos.
The funniest memory of the BCS.
Stone said if Alabama has 2 losses and get in,
100%.
The credibility is already ruined. Ruined.
Okay, here's where they have some credibility. Is that we thought they were just going to grandfather Cincinnati the 2 seed because that's what the AP poll did. But they're like, nah. We talked about that. We put them at 2 because the AP already had them there. We thought, they're just going to rejig the AP a little bit, but not a whole lot. Don't want to rock the boat. And they're like, nah, son, we're putting them at 6 because we don't like them. We don't respect them. And we think they're trash.
They literally told you right then and there, it's not about the record and resume. They literally, how they have it ranked right now, told you that does not matter. It doesn't matter. But Evan said it best. The BCS days, they were called style points. You had to go out there and stomp a mud hole in opponents to get those additional points. You talk about sportsmanship and all of that. Those were the good old days. But we'll see. We'll continue to debate this, but a lot of people didn't like that, man. But good old Ian says Wake Forest and San Diego State should be getting some consideration for the college football playoff. Ugh.
Maybe if they still had Kenneth Walker, they'd be in consideration, but not anymore.
I don't know what that is a take that old GQ cannot and will not get behind. But Jay, we've got a Thursday night game tomorrow. We have a game. Mike White and the New York Jets versus Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis is favored by 10.5 in this matchup. Wow.
It's bold.
Mike, that's dude. Carson Wentz. We said it yesterday. The worst. It is absolutely one of the worst pick sixes that I've ever seen. and he was just crushed on media yesterday. Good grief, Carson Wentz. Are you excited for this game? Do you think Mike White can continue his performance? I'm at over 400 yards. What do you have? 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and both of those interceptions were tipped pick passes. What do you think? What do you think about this? I honestly,
I'm excited. I'm excited for this game because if there's
Wow.
one thing I got to give Carson Wentz a lot of credit for, if you're not rooting for him, it's pretty fun to watch. Like it's pretty fun because you're just like, well, what's he gonna do this play? I was watching Pat McAfee talk about it, and he's like, I don't understand how Eagles fans are still alive. Like they
Eagles
have
fans?
to go through, yeah, they have to
Okay.
go through cardiac arrest every time he steps on the field. He's a roller coaster of emotions, and you never know what he's gonna do. He's like, every play with him has to be a home run. Like even the play to Pittman, he's like, so he running around, scrambling, trying to avoid defenders, almost falls, uses the ball to stay up, and then he throws into quadruple coverage to Michael Pittman. But thank God he's 6'4" with a 40-inch vertical and could catch it. But it's just hilarious to see
The
people
Carson
bashing
Wentz
Carson Wentz.
experience, man.
Because what I didn't know, and I looked this up today, and I have to give Carson Wentz a little bit more credit, is how many interceptions do you think he has on the season? If you haven't looked at the show sheet yet.
I've not looked at the show sheet. I'm just going off the dome here. What, 2?
He's
3?
got 3. He's got 3.
3
He
picks.
should have 4. He should have 4 because that San Francisco one was a sham. It was a pick. It wasn't a fumble.
Yeah.
But he's got 3. And, the way he plays, though, he should have 25. Like, that's the thing with Carson Wentz and why I will definitely watch. One, I want to see Mike White because I didn't watch much of that Jets game versus the Bengals, and I want to see how he plays. I think that he's got something cooking, especially with Michael Carter. Michael Carter, the past 2 games with Mike White, has 9+ targets in both those games, and he's playing extremely well. Again, it's more through the air than on the ground. He had 77 yards against the Bengals, and I believe he was RB1 in fantasy. What? Michael Carter getting it going.
He was he was the RB1?
He was the RB1.
Oh.
The only player
Oh.
who scored more points than him, I'm pretty sure, was AJ Brown. But
Man.
it depends on scoring format, all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 9% sure
yeah.
he was the RB1. But again, he caught, I think, 9 passes for like 80 yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns. He had 77 on the ground. He had a dope game. Like surprisingly, he played really, really well. So I want to see how he plays with Mike White because they seem to have this connection. Michael Carter was not the starting running back out of training camp. So you think about the backup quarterback working with the backup running back, there's a bit of a connection there. Then you have Elijah Moore, had 6 receptions, and he had his first touchdown. So I'm curious to see how that all comes together. Jamison Crowder looked great, and Corey Davis potentially could be back. He's nursing a hip injury right now. He said it's feeling good, but he's still kind of a game-time decision. Then, of course, there's the Carson Wentz experience, man. Like, you got to watch that every week. You still got Jonathan Taylor, who we all love. We're rooting for a ton.
Yeah.
Love Jonathan Taylor. And then you still got Michael Pittman, who's playing out of his mind. He's 13th in the league in receptions. I believe he's 13th in points, 13th in yards per game as well. Dude is just balling. He's on fire right now. Wentz is throwing him the ball no matter what. Double coverage, triple coverage, quadruple coverage. Doesn't matter for Carson Wentz. He's throwing the ball to Michael Pittman. So I think it's going to be a good game, man. I'm actually all in on the over. Jets allowed 29 points per game, and that's, of course, a little bit inflated because they allowed, 54 to the Patriots?
To the Pats,
and then you have the Colts. They allowed 22 points per game. The over-under is only 46. That point total already is at 51. So you think you got about 5 points of juice if they just hit their regular averages? I think it'd be high scoring. I think Mike White is right hot right now, or white hot, if you want to go with the pun there.
Little white hot for White Lightning.
White Lightning, as McAfee called them.
White Lightning.
I'm all in on the over.
Like Mike White QB, Mike White, the QB, number 5, over under 257.5 passing yards for White Lightning. What you think? Do you think the Colts defense hasn't been as good as we thought this season?
Not as good as you think they are. They allow a 70% completion percentage, which is the 3rd worst in all of the NFL. So again, they're a decent defense. They can rush the passer, but they're still allowing a god-awful completion percentage. So I think White Lightning can do some things. The thing with him is that he's got nothing to lose. He's going to go out there and throw. I love watching quarterbacks who have nothing to lose. It's so fun.
He's going to go out there and throw 6 interceptions and 122 yards. It's going to be a catastrophe because everybody's on. I mean, I don't know,
At
man.
least we don't have to see Flacco. Like, that to me is I just wanna see Mike White for 4 quarters. I don't care if he has to bomb it 60 times. I
He
wanna see it.
played
I wanna see
he
White Lightning
played
do his
well
thing.
versus he played very well versus Cincinnati. Like I was
Yeah.
impressed. He played real well, and you can just tell how excited he was to get an NFL victory. So you've got the over. This seems high for a second start for a quarterback on a short week versus, you still got Darius Leonard there. I believe Kenny Moore in the secondary. They've got, some decent secondary players. I mean, do you
I'm
like
not
this?
worried, man. I
Really?
like it.
Okay.
257 is not. You got to think about,
Okay.
like, we expect him to be down more likely than not. He just threw for 400 yards in a game. I think he can throw for 300. If he throws the
Oh,
ball
is
50 times, if they're
is this
down.
right? Michael Pittman's over under is only 49.5 receiving yards? Dude.
No, it's 68.5 is what I see it as. 68.5.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was about to say.
I don't know where did Evan see these lines? God damn.
Hey, I
man.
need this book, Evan. Go ahead and drop that book where you saw that. But bro, maybe it's prize pick. Shit, I don't know. I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now. Oh, he said no, that's bet down. Okay, got you. He bet it down. I was about to say I need to get that. Yo, Michael Pitt, I keep saying it every week. Those of y'all listening, participating in fantasy football leagues, go trade for Michael Pittman. There's still window of opportunity. He's good, man. He reminds me of like not the same play style, but sort of like he's just going to be this dude that's just consistently good that nobody really gives the proper respect and just due for. A la rest in peace Vincent Jackson. Like he was always just good,
Vincent
right?
Jackson.
Like just good, but never mentioned as like the top receiver in the NFL. Never one of the top 5 guys. But I'm telling y'all, you could still get Michael Pittman on the low. Go trade for Michael Pittman. He's showing it. He's getting the targets. Carson Wentz is looking his way. You've got a DGAF quarterback, doesn't give a you-know-what. That's just going to throw it down the field. YOLO balls. He's getting the important air yards. He's getting the target. Michael Pittman is legit, man. He's good. And they're
to
still
give you even more context, his stats mirror Stephon Diggs this season. So if that tells you anything, like if you like Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman's getting the same target share, same receptions, same touchdowns, same yards. It's all basically right in line. They're right about the same spot right now.
Trade
so I'm all in on Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman, and Drake London is better than Michael Pittman. Let's talk about JT, baby. Jonathan, this one, smash. He hit this on the first play of the game last week. Literally, first play of the game last week. It was funny. I was talking to my boy Jared Wackerly this morning. We were using the audio text. No, I was not driving, but it's just easier for me to voice message. But remember all the fears and concerns about Jonathan Taylor not catching passes out of Wisconsin? Yeah, no issues. God, he's so good. The fact that I traded him and Kyle Pitts to Evan in a league, bro, I just
hurting.
How shiesty of a commissioner would I be if I was like, I'm just gonna disband this league. We're just gonna redo it. Like the fact that I traded him for Patrick Mahomes. I traded those in a think about it. It's a 14-team league, so QB is already sparse in that 14-team league. It's super flex. My only quarterbacks were Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts and Davis Mills. I needed a quarterback, man. So now I had to do it. It was a move I had to make. I still have, it hurts. But JT over under 17.5 receiving yards. You like this?
Very much so. Curious your thoughts though at 83.5 rushing yards for him. I think it's a beatable number for sure. It's a little higher than I'd like to see, and I saw his over under for carries at 18.5. So, they're projecting him to be right around that 18 to 20 carry mark, which is about where I want him to be.
I doubt that.
Exactly,
highly.
right? We haven't really seen it. So that's my only concern is that they're projecting more carries, which is good, but it's significant bump up from his yards because we did talk about this last week with Jonathan Taylor. He was sitting at about 65 yards, if I remember correctly, maybe even 67 yards. So for him to be all the way up at 83 now with a projected a legit projection of only 3 more carries, it doesn't make me sit too well, but I'm okay with it. If you want to go for the over for 83.5, it's fine. He can definitely hit that. He's Jonathan Taylor, for heaven's sake. But the over under 17.5 receiving yards, I'm all in on that. That's one screenplay. He does it pretty much every game.
All right, so we got some news about a wide receiver. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints had a setback and new issue with his ankle, which has derailed him from coming off of the IR. For those who have been waiting for his return, Michael Thomas ain't playing this year. Michael Thomas isn't playing. Michael Thomas is going to be on a new team next year. The Saints need to tear it down. I'm telling you, the Saints need it. Michael Thomas is not playing this season. That's a wrap. And I believe MT, I think he's 28, bro. I think he's 28.
Yeah, he's old. I think he's 27, but he could be 28 or turning 28.
He's 28. Dude.
He's old.
It feels like Michael Thomas has been in the league for like 4 years. Like, it doesn't feel like he's been in that long.
He's probably in year 6.
Bro, he's going to next season. Michael Thomas going into the NFL next year, he'll be 29 years old.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. He's the Terry McLaurin mold of Ohio State prospect where he came out at 23. So but they owe him a lot of money. He's still 22 mil dead cap next year.
He's played 5. Dude, his stats are insane. Oh my God.
Yeah. He's got some of the best stats, period. But you talk about,
Jeez.
I think he was also 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie.
No,
very few who's done that, wasn't he?
Yes. I was looking at 2020. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. He got Brandon Cooks traded, right? They were all in on Michael Thomas, but he's been a bit of a nuisance ever since. So we'll see what happens with him. You know, he got his contract, got his 5-year $100 million. He's 32 dead cap this year, 22 dead cap next year.
Oh, so he's not going anywhere. Anywhere.
Unless they restructure him, but I doubt
unless they find a team that's going to take him on, that is say, we'll take this money on.
Technically, they would save money if they cut him. They'd save $2 million. But again, you're still getting rid of one of the best receivers in the NFL. You could probably still trade him at only.
Look at his stats: 92 for 1,100 as a rookie, 104 for 1,245 in his sophomore season, 125 for 1,405. And then in 2019, his record-setting season, 149 for 1,725 and 9.
Yeah. He's good. He's real good.
Man.
Put some respect on Michael Thomas' name.
All right. Yeah, did we finish everything in the Jets game? I'm gonna be excited to watch. I want to see Jonathan Taylor. I'm actually not as bearish on this game as a lot of people, because you're right. I do want to see the Jets. Hopefully Corey Davis plays. And then the Colts side of the ball, you've got the Wentz experience. You've got Jonathan Taylor. You have Michael Pittman. You've got good players in this matchup. So hopefully we get the carries for Jonathan Taylor. I saw Rico say something. I saw some stat lines that he said. Is there
Top
a
Dog
reception
has
prop?
109.5 for rushing and receiving, which I like that too. I think that's
I like
fine.
that. Yeah, 109.5 rushing and receiving. Yeah, I would take that. I would take that big time. Let's talk a little bit about the trade deadline, Jay. Trade deadline. Everyone was excited for the trade deadline, and nothing exciting happened. The NFL trade deadline is trash, like every year. Like the trades normally happen in the offseason. Like if the big trades that happen. The big one that didn't happen, Deshaun Watson was not traded, so this is a lost season for Deshaun Watson. If a move is going to be made, it's going to be made in the offseason. Where are you at? I mean, this is just a completely lost season for Watson. There's absolutely no clarity on his legal issues. There was a report or commentary, I don't know if it's fact or opinion. Did you see the Dolphins owner trying to leverage settles in order to acquire a trade?
No.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, bro. Do you want me to read this? Should OGQ dive into this one real quick?
I mean, if you want to. So to give my 2 cents real quick, it's annoying for me because I'm sick of this story, but it's not going to go away. But at the same time, like, it's kind of on his representatives because weren't they the ones that got this trial pushed back to February so he could in theory play the season? Like,
I think so.
I don't know why they did that, but it's pushed back to February, so we're going to get no clarity until then. But I think that's what we all expected. But then again, he doesn't want to play for the Texans. The NFL hasn't done anything because why would they? The NFL doesn't act until they basically have to. And so we'll see. But yeah, I know that I saw stuff about the owner saying that he wasn't comfortable with the situation, but I didn't hear that he was maybe willing to do something about it.
So Mark Berman at Mark Berman Fox 26. Okay, so I'll just say look it up and read it because if this were true, If this is true, in my opinion, like the Dolphins franchise should be ashamed of themselves, and I'll just leave it at that. If they were truly trying to leverage these alleged victims, their plight, their cause, in order to just get this trade done, they should be ashamed. These franchises, man, there's some scumbag shit that just have in life, in all companies, and in business in general. Like, people don't become billionaires just off of just goodwill. I'm just gonna just good-hearted.
Nice guy.
I'm kind to everybody, and I'm just gonna be a multi-billionaire. Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, there's nasty, there's dirty, there's muck, there's mud, and this situation is no different. Again, one of the very few times in NFL history where a young franchise quarterback has hit the market, and teams were trying to do whatever it takes to get Deshaun Watson. I encourage, or just go check it out. If you're on the toilet and you got nothing else to do, just read this and tell me what you think about this Dolphins franchise. Just ridiculous. Deshaun Jackson released. I think that was dope by the Rams, man. Like, the way that Jackson went about it, because apparently he went to Rams, the head coach and ownership, like a couple of weeks ago, expressed his, frustration about not playing, but he did it professionally. He didn't do the Ben Simmons crybaby stuff in the media. And Deshaun Jackson he's towards the end of his career, man. We know he can still play, can still stretch the field, but he goes to the Rams, he goes to ownership, pretty much says, yo, I want to play a little bit more. I know it's not going to happen here. Can you trade me? They mutually agreed to find a trade partner, couldn't find a trade partner, so they cut him. And that's so dope. And Deshaun Jackson thanked the Rams, and it wasn't cutting him like, oh, we're going to get rid of this cancer. Like, hey, man, you want to play. It's not going to happen here to the degree that you want it. So how about we do you a solid? Appreciate you coming to us as a professional. We'll let you go. And now he's free to sign with whatever team he wants. So prediction, where does Deshaun – first of all, do you like the way their organization handled that? And second, what are your predictions on where Deshaun Jackson ends up?
Absolutely. I like the way they handled it. I'm curious, though, where would he go? Because the obvious choice for me is Kansas City or Tampa Bay. Oh, wow. I didn't think of the Andy Reid connection. Oh, man, that's really interesting. Wow.
That's what I was thinking, but do they need another one of those guys? Because
why not?
I don't know.
Because you look at it, right? Like, you look at Tyreek. Tyreek is the guy who's just underneath. He's doing what Kelsey does right now, and it works. But imagine if you had.
Oh,
Deshaun
I like
Jackson
this. I like this.
Actually, run Packers. Yeah,
as a field stretcher, somebody to stretch the field. Aaron Rodgers take his shots. I like it. He's going to end up somewhere
too, though. Similar role, but I think my point about KC is that if you have, Kelsey doing the short intermediate. You have Tyreek doing the deep intermediate, and you have Deshaun Jackson stretching the field. He can do what Tyreek can do from perspective.
I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, he's the same thing as McCole Hardman. He's the same
but they don't utilize McCole Hardman that deep, though. They just, for whatever reason, they don't. I don't know why they don't. But they don't.
Defenses are playing. I just don't know how much of a difference Deshaun Jackson makes for Kansas City. I love the Green Bay call. Would also be interested. He's a West Coast guy. Arizona.
Could he go to the Chargers and just stay home? Like, they could use a deep threat. Mike Williams can get deep, but he's also a chain mover guy, right? They got Guyton. They got, but again, veteran Brandon Staley. Maybe I'm
with Rico here. Adding Jackson to the Chiefs would further encourage the bad habits of Patrick. Buy Patrick Mahomes in Dynasty. People are tripping. Not Stone, not Rico, but just people are panicked on Mahomes. I have my panic meter on a scale from 0 to infinity is like negative, like zero fear and concern.
Negative 500 million to be exact is about where I'm at.
You have no concern either, right? Like zero. But people are legit. Like, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. Patrick Mahomes. The clickbait takes are out there. Did Kansas City make a mistake giving Patrick Mahomes $500 million? Do they regret this? Should Kansas City? I'm like, really? Because of, I don't know, man. I like the Chargers.
Insane.
I think the Chargers call is really good. I actually
He's
really
also
like
still
that.
QB5. Mahomes is still QB5 in Kansas City. People are
Yeah, that's what. There you go, Dale. Look at Dale. Look at Dale with all the smoke. Let's
Dale,
go,
my guy.
Dale. Dale, my man. Yes, he is happy being back home. He's from Long Beach. Went to Long Beach Poly. Went to Cal for college. He's back home in LA. I think he wants to stay on the West Coast. I don't think he wants to be in the cold in Green Bay, playing in the frozen tundra. I think it would be a good fit. I don't think the fit in Kansas City is there. That would be pretty dope to see him in LA. Maybe Vegas. Maybe Las Vegas Raiders. They just lost their speed guy. I mean, they just lost their deep threat, man. They just lost their deep threat. But shout out to Dale, man, for dropping all the smoke, man. Love it, man. Love it. Jay, I have nothing else. I feel like absolute shit. I think my son got me sick. I'm over here hawking up all kinds of these damn kids, man. It's freezing in Texas, dude. It's 46 degrees today. I will be bundled up from we got scarves, bro. You would think it's a blizzard out here. When I say it is freezing cold, it is 46. It's raining. I feel bad, but I'm excited for this weekend slate of football, man. I'm excited to be here with you. I love the people. The comments were popping today. Thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure you subscribe. Top Dog Laughing. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel. Jay, do you have any final parting words for the good people on this fine one? Dude, I'm ready for this week to be over. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was this close to being like, I just can't do the show today. But I like talking to you sometimes.
Yes, sir. So tomorrow we're gonna get into college football, right? So you got to make your college football picks. We got to get some picks from you. We got to pick our games. So if people know, Thursdays now the college football show. We might talk a little bit of Thursday night football if any news drops. We're gonna definitely give you NFL updates, and we're gonna get your prize picks, power play, your 3-leg parlay that you always run every weekend for prize picks. So we'll
Carson Strong. Well. Carson Strong hit the over on the rushing yards.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. I was so pissed off, man. That one was like I was so confident in that last week. And he rushed for 4 yards. I'm like, what? Yes,
he was positive?
He was positive. He was rushing positive. He tested positive for rushing yards, and he destroyed my. Yeah, man. All right, college football tomorrow. A little more NFL. We probably won't have college lines tomorrow. That was the unfortunate thing about last week. We didn't have it, but Drake London did hit his over in 1/2. I did get that one right. Drake London hit his over in 1/2 of play. But we'll tap into college tomorrow, talk a little more NFL. Y'all have a great day. Be safe. Make today great. Make good decisions, man. Surround yourself with positive people, good people. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.